Hey there, Jon Chorba here from ReallyEasyGuitarLessons.com, and in this video lesson, I'm going to walk you through all of the solos and leads of Cocaine by Eric Clapton. So the way I'm going to break this down in this lesson is into sections. So in the intro, it's not really a solo, but there's some fills. So I'm going to walk you through each of the fills in the intro. And then the middle part, the middle solo, I break it into two sections. Solo 1 is just one guitar by itself. And then solo 2 is where they have the lead guitar overdub duel, which is kind of crazy, kind of confusing. And if I mess up any of the phrasing and the licks, it's probably going to be in that section. And then in the outro, as the song fades out, there's a little bit of a lead. And each of those sections, I'm just going to go through each one lick by lick, number them, lick 1-1, lick 1-2, etc., etc. I will we'll listen to them, get them in our ear. I will demonstrate them, then I'll instruct you how to play them, and then I'll demonstrate them again, and we'll just go through it one thing at a time. So let's get started. All right, starting with the intro, here is the first little fill. Let's take a listen to it. So it's right here, this little trill and a hammer-on. And so we have, however you play the rhythm of it, either with power chords or as a little chord fragment, doesn't really matter. I'm talking about just the leads in this video. So this first one, we have a trill on the open A string to the second fret of the A string, right? You're just doing a fast succession of hammer-ons and pull-offs. And it lasts for one beat. Da, 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 and then you hit the open D string, and then follow it with a hammer-on from the open D string to the second fret of the D string. So, da, 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 da. Second fill of the intro sounds like this. Let's do that again. That's the open D string, hammer on open to 2 of the A, open D string again, open A, little bend on 3 of the E, open E, 2 of the D. And I'm just using my first and second fingers on this. Anything here on the second fret, I'm playing with my first finger, and then that third fret with my middle finger. The third fill sounds like this. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm at 80% speed of the song, so if it sounds slower, it's because I'm slowing it down purposefully, right? So this one, let me play it again. Let me demonstrate that. Okay, so I'm down at the 7th fret of the G string, and I want you to use your first finger there, and then your ring finger on 9 of the D, and it's a quick little dot dot, pause, and then 7 of the D with your first finger, dot dot da. Picking wise, I'm going down up down, but I guess you could do all downs if you wanted to. And then now do a position shift, meaning you take your first finger and you move it down to the 5th fret. I'm not sliding or anything, I'm just making a movement. And I'm gonna hammer on 5 to 6 of the D string, 7 of the A with my ring finger, slight little bend on 5 of the A, and then stick the landing on 7 of the A with the ring finger, and then slide off it. All right, here's the last fill for the intro. So I got open, 2 hammer on, open D, followed by open A. Da 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 da. Little slow bend on 3 of the E. And then you can either hit the open E string or on the tab it has a power chord. I don't really know what it would be. You could do either. Da 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 da. All right, enough of the intro fills. Let's get to the good stuff. First part of the solo, lick 1-1. Let's take a listen. One more time. And so by doing that, you slowing stuff down, looping it, you're getting it in your ear, right? The ultimate information that you're sending to your hands should be music. It shouldn't be all instruction all the time. So I'm listening to this, and what I'm getting in my ear is bum 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 ba da 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 bum bum bum. All right, I'm singing that in my head because that's going to be the instruction that I give to my hands. Now, here's how we play that. Do that again. So it's starting on the D string, 12, 14, and on that 14 we got some vibrato. 12 of the G, you pick it, and then you pick it, let it ring, and then add a little bend to it. Back to the D string, da-da, pull off, and then pick, da-da-da, and then all picked here, 12, 14, 14, 12, da-da-da-da, bum, starting from the beginning, da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, back to 14 with some vibrato, 12 of the G twice, on that second one, little bend, stick the landing on 14 of the D with vibrato. Bum, bum, ba, da, 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 ba, 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 ba. Lick 1-2 sounds like this. Okay, so this could be kind of tricky if you're newer at bends. So you have to do what's called a double stop bend, meaning I'm holding the fort down on 12 of the B string, and I'm bending 14 of the G string. I'm not bending both strings. I'm only bending 14. So I'm using my ring finger on 14 and my middle finger on 13. 13 is not a note that you hear. I'm just using the finger to help push the strings up, okay? And so with this bend, right, it's a full step bend, and if you bend it correctly, the notes should be perfectly in tune with each other, right? So that would be a perfectly in tune bend. The thing with these bends is that they could be a little flat. Don't go sharp, but they could be a little flat. And it just gives it a little character, right? So I'm doing that double stop bend. I'm gonna start by doing it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. This is where it gets a little tricky. Then I bend it a 4th time, and then I hold it at the top, pick it, and then you want to hear the descend of the bend. So the first ones, all you hear is ascend. You hear those notes going up. Bum, bum, bum. 4th one goes up. But then I got to bring it back down. So you want to hear that weepy sound. Bring it back down, and then play both strings at the same time. and then. So there I'm just doing an actual double stop, just playing those two strings unbent, just the B string, then bend 14, 12, and then finish it with that same little riff you did in the last lick. Da, 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 da. So here's the whole thing. One more time. All right, lick 3 of solo 1 sounds like this. Okay, so it's a little faster one. Standard little blues lick though. Okay, so it starts off with a bend and then the roll on 12 of the B and the E string. So I'm using my first finger, like the tip of my finger on the B string and more of the fingerprint part on the E string. And then 15, 12 of the B, 15 of the G, it's the blues note. And then I got a little half step bend, unbend, 12, bend. All right, the fourth lick sounds like this. Love that lick. So we got going on here, pick 15 of the B string, and then immediately bend 14 of the G string. I bend it up, bring it back down, and then 12 of the G, 14 of the D. And then roll 12, 12 of the D of the GD. And then da, bum, ba, ba, da, 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 14, 14, 12 of the D and the G. Put it together. Lick 5 is another little fast one. Let's take a listen. And, you know, it sounds a little, I don't know if I would call it sloppy. Far be it from me to call Eric Clapton sloppy when you got the king of slop over here. But it does sound like there's a little bit of sloppiness on the recording. And in order to kind of get it to sound as close as I can get it to sound, I notated on the tab right here with this 2 and 3 to make sure to play this note with my second finger and then play this note with my third finger, because if I don't do it that way, my fingers get all twisted and I can't do it. So let me just play it first. So yeah, if I don't use those fingers, I get all twisted. Okay, so I'm doing another little of those blues bendy things with the roll, walk down. And this time now, I'm gonna use my second finger to bend, unbend, 12 of the G, ring finger on 14 of the D, so that I could use my middle finger on 14 of the G to bend to get there. Like that. All right, here's lick 6. Sounds like this. and so what we got going on here, I'm gonna use my ring finger on the B string of 15. I'm kind of getting my middle finger ready on 14 to the G string. I start with just playing the B string, and then I'm gonna do a double stop, so I'm playing both of those strings. And what you're doing is you're just adjusting how far the bend is with the 14th fret. So full step bend, half step bend, unbend. And then double stop on 12 of the G and B, and then 14 of the D. Yeah, if you mistime the bends or get them wrong, it can go off the rails pretty fast. That was a good one, okay. And then the back half of it sounds like this. It's a high E string of 12, 15 of the B, and then another one of those. Bend, bring it back, double stop, 14, and then do that again. And then the last lick of the first part of the solo. Sounds like this. So double stopping 12 of the D and the G, and then just bringing my ring finger down on that D string. Oh, not like that. There we go. And then back to the G and B string. Little slight bend twice. Stick the landing on 14. And then hammer on. Double stop on the D and the G. And then at the end of this, you want to make sure that these notes are staccato, meaning that you're not holding it in like that. You take the pressure out so that they are decayed. Like so. All right, this second solo is where things can get a little confusing because there's the overdub happening. There's two lead guitar parts happening at the same time. So it's kind of tough to make out who's playing what and what's going on. I'm gonna do my best to try to work my way through that. I think on some of these, I'm probably gonna be a little inaccurate, but my goal is not to get you to be perfect, it's to get you to be really, really close. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go through kind of each section and just show you lick one, from guitar one, and lick two from lick one from guitar two. So kind of just doing it lick by lick, but having the two guitar parts. So let's just take a listen. Here is the first lick of guitar one. And I'll play that by myself here. So that's what you want to listen for. Ba, ba, da, 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 da. Okay, and that's 14 to the D, followed by some double stops. The 14 double stop, we're gonna do a little bend first, and then unbend, back to 12. All right, and then the second guitar, the overdub, the lick is a little bit longer. It sounds like this. I'm gonna try to play along with it so you can kind of really make it out and hear it. Just bends on 14 of the G string. Play around with like how far deep they go. And then D string stuff. Da, 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 da. And then back to the first guitar, we have this little thing. Okay, so we got some bend stuff happening on the B string while we're holding out 12 of the E string. I mean, honestly, when I play this like along to a backing track, I kind of take some liberties there. I take a lot of liberties all the time, always. I'm not a big note for note, you know, accurate kind of guy. So the idea is you're playing 12 and bending that 15. Sometimes he hits it as a double stop. Sometimes they do them twice in a row. But I like just to get the general idea of that. Even if you just repeat it, it sounds pretty good. And then the other guitar part right there is doing this. Okay, so that's similar, right? Double stop. Twice. And then pick 12 of the B, 14 bend, hold it, play 15 of the B, bring that 14 of the G down, and then 12 of the G. All right, then back to guitar 1 here. We got a fast lick, which all of that just sounds crazy to me. So much going on. I'm gonna play along with it so you can kind of make out what this part sounds like. Again, I don't know if this is 100% accurate. Just walking down a scale, really. So the other guitar players kind of playing these 2 licks. Again, it's strange to it's strange to listen to it, strange to play it, hard to teach it. There's just a whole mess of stuff going on here. So my best guess here is you're doing the same kind of motifs over and over again. So playing 15, bending 14. Back to guitar 1. Here's the next lick there. So it's a pretty cool little rhythm. All 16th notes, except he throws in a couple 8th notes that make it sound a little more interesting. And the last lick here of guitar 1. Okay, so that's my best guess as to what that is. So we got one bend and then another bend, which goes right into the roll. And it ends with 12, slide off on 14. All right, the last lick here on guitar 2. This is another one. I don't really know if this is right. Just so much going on. something like that. So just D string, 10, 14, 12. So that second solo is a hot mess. If you couldn't follow along with that, I apologize. Tell me in the comments how bad I did at that second solo, because I'm not crazy about it. But it's hard because there's just so much information going on, and it's hard to separate it out. And if you're playing this along to a backing track, obviously you're not playing two leads at the same time. So choose one of them that makes the most sense, or pick and choose licks from either of them, or do what I do, and that is just use E minor pentatonic and improvise over it. All right, and lastly, as the song fades out, we have some leads in the outro. I think there's some overdubs going on here, but I'm just gonna focus on just the main part that I hear. Here's the first lick. So we got a double stop. Sorry, got a double stop here on 5 of the B and 7 of the G, so bending 7. And then you bend just 7 up and return it back down. There it is. And then the second lick. Up to your 15. 15 in the B, 16 in the G. And then 14, 12, 14. Next lick, similar to the first one, just double stop bends. All right, this fourth lick. Just as the song is starting to fade out, you're just doing that bend. It's not much. That's not a double stop anymore. Just playing individual notes. Slide down to 3. Like that. And this is gonna be the last lick that I'm gonna do because the song is gonna start to fade out. Sounds like this. That last one, I'm having a hard time getting it all the way right, but you're just messing around with here, E minor, pentatonic here. Something along those lines. Something like that. Whew, all right, that's it for this video lesson. Sorry if it kind of fell apart over the overdubs, and at the end there, some of those licks kind of hard to hear, and trying to get them to be note for note. You could drive yourself crazy trying to be note for note accurate. Just try to get super close when it comes to bluesy stuff like this. But the licks that you love the most, those are the ones that you should focus the most on and trying to get the phrasing and the timing accurate. So to recap how to go through all of this, go lick by lick, take one lick at a time, and then start stacking licks together so that we could, get through a whole section at a time. I would recommend doing this along to the recording and slow it down to whatever speed you need to make sure that you're working on that phrasing and timing element. And then the ultimate challenge, the ultimate test of your skills is to play this to a backing track or with a band where you are now the guitar player, you are the Eric Clapton, and let's see how good, you could do. And I honestly, too, I would recommend, taking elements of this and making it your own, introduce elements of your own playing and your own phrasing to it, because I guarantee you that every time Eric Clapton plays this live, he is not doing it the exact same way every time, and nor should he, and nor should you. So that's it for this video lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button to get more videos like this. If you are a beginner or intermediate guitar player and you are totally lost, confused, overwhelmed, not sure what you should be working on, head over to reallyeasyguitarlessons.com/quiz, where you can take my free guitar practicing assessment. I'll ask you a few short questions, and then based off of your answers, I will tell you what your top practicing priorities are. You could find that at reallyeasyguitarlessons.com/quiz. It's totally free. Results are delivered instantly. Again, reallyeasyguitarlessons.com/quiz. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.